For our next bout of the evening, we go to the heavyweight division. The far more active Jesse Barboza taking on the vastly more experienced Arthur SARIBEKIan. Barboza with the height and reach advantage, both fighters hailing from New England. This one should be interesting. We'll send it inside the ring for our official ring introductions from Rick Provost.
This is the Red Stag and Jim Beam bout. Your official for this bout, the referee is Johnny Callis. Let's meet the combatants. First of all, fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at 233 pounds with a professional record of 23 wins, 4 losses and 1 draw, with 18 wins coming by way of knockout. Returning to the ring for the first time in 10 years, out of Cranston, Rhode Island, please welcome Arthur, the Armenian assassin, SARIBEKIan. His opponent, fighting out of the red corner, weighing in at 242 pounds, with a professional record of 6 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw, with 4 wins coming by way of knockout, out of Hyannis, Massachusetts. Welcome, Jesse Bad News Barboza.
Jesse Barboza entering this fight with a record of 6-1-1. Arthur SARIBEKIan with a record of 23 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw. SARIBEKIan has not fought in over a decade, a 10-year layoff. Prior to that, he had a 3-year layoff, so not active in terms of actual professional fights, but he's the type of guy that if you make your way around gyms in the New England area, you're bound to run into him.
Yeah, he's always in and out of the gym. He just loves boxing. He started, I think he turned pro, he was 16 years old. And he just loves boxing. He's been around forever. He actually was signed to James Toney's team early on in his career, fought a lot of fights in Auburn Hills, Michigan. And he's been around a long time in the New England boxing scene.
When SARIBEKIan made his pro debut, Jesse Barboza was 2 weeks shy of turning 6 years old, just to give you an indication of the gap in age between these two competitors.
I think for SARIBEKIan, his best shot tonight is to come right out there, bombs away, because SARIBEKIan has huge power. He's a very powerful puncher. But at his age and his layoff, we don't know how he's going to go in the later rounds.
This fight scheduled for 6 rounds. Both fighters wearing black trunks. Barboza wearing black gloves. SARIBEKIan wearing white gloves. Barboza is the athletic-looking African-American. SARIBEKIan looks like a guy from a Rocky movie.
It looks like SARIBEKIan has actually come out, want to use some of his boxing ability, feeling him out. Barboza's doing the smart thing, sticking that jab out there.
So SARIBEKIan throws a right hand. Not only does he have age and father time going against him, but he took this fight in relative short notice against Jesse Barboza.
Yeah, I believe it was like a week, maybe?
Less than 2 weeks for sure. Given his vast experience inside the ring, I'm sure it's no big thing to him, but Jesse Barboza probably wants to remind him very early on why he hasn't done this in over a decade.
The one thing you can see from Sari, he is calm, and that's indicative of the experience that he has.
SARIBEKIan with Roland Estrada in his corner tonight, famous for developing his son Jason Big Six Estrada, who represented the United States in the 2004 Olympics in Athens, Greece. Roland Estrada has found somewhat of a niche in these past few months of bringing back these fighters from New England boxing past, as he worked the corner for Anthony Chase, who recently fought for the first time in nearly a decade. A few months back, in Manchester, New Hampshire in a losing effort to Chris Gilbert. We'll see if SARIBEKIAN has better success tonight against BARBOZA.
And Chase was another one. He's in and out of the gyms all the time. Loves boxing, works out. Chase, I think, was a little over his head weight-wise in that fight. He used to fight at like 140, and I believe that fight was almost at 160. So that's a big disadvantage for him there. Here, Arthur's not too far out of his comfort zone. He fought at cruiserweight almost his whole career. Much more tentative first round than I thought we'd have from both guys.
There's been times when both fighters have been in the gym together. I wonder if there's ever been times in which they've sparred against one another.
It's inevitable. There's not a whole lot of heavyweight sparring around, so it's possible. Although one thing I know is unless Arthur's got a fight coming up, I don't know how much he spars. He's in the gym working out, but I don't know how much. Even for this, I don't know on the 1 or 2 weeks notice how much sparring he actually got in.
And Jesse Barboza outworking SARIBEKIAN here in round 1, which should give him the round at will on my scorecard as the opening frame comes to a conclusion in the scheduled 6-rounder here at the Twin River Event Center in Lincoln, Rhode Island.
SARIBEKIAN goes back to his corner looking a little disgusted with himself. I think he thought he'd be a little more effective that round, but you got to let your hands go.
And I'm glad you picked up on that, because my next question for you was, what would you make of the facial expression we saw from SARIBEKIAN as soon as the bell sounded to close round 1?
Well, I don't believe he's happy with what he did the first round. I think he's frustrated. I think he thought he might have had an easier time of it, that Barboza might have been easier to hit. Barboza, for his effort, he fought a very smart first round, working off that jab. He has the reach advantage, the height advantage. I thought he fought a very smart first round. For Arthur to be successful here tonight, he has to kind of come right in, get in close, and let those hands go, because his power is his main asset in this fight.
As Roland Estrada's instructions end to SARIBEKIAN, Jerry Macarone with some words of encouragement in his corner. Jerry Macarone, another noted boxing personality on the New England scene, who's been around even prior to 1992 when SARIBEKIAN made his pro debut.
Oh, he's been around forever. A very good cut man and trainer in his own right.
So round 2 of the scheduled 6-rounder on its way.
Arthur actually got stunned a little bit by that left hook counter from Jesse Barboza, but Arthur was doing some good work right there.
And that left hand, followed by a right from Barboza, finds its mark on SARIBEKIAN. SARIBEKIAN covering up now in the corner, and Barboza going to work.
And I don't know if he's fully hurt or if he's putting in possum, but he's got to do something, or they're going to pull the plug on this fight. He's just letting punches come in on him.
If Barboza can stop SARIBEKIAN in this fight, for Barboza it looks good when you're scrolling through BoxRec to see him have a knockout win, as a right hand drops SARIBEKIAN, I was going to say over a guy with such a big record, and as SARIBEKIAN goes down, the doctor already makes his way into the ring, and before the 10 counts, the doctor was in the ring. SARIBEKIAN beats the count, and Barboza comes over to SARIBEKIAN with some kind words as this fight has been stopped, as Jesse Barboza has a 2nd-round stoppage over Arthur SARIBEKIAN.
I was a little shocked at how quick the doctor ran up there. I mean, he didn't even give him a chance to see if he could get up.
Yeah, it was a right hand from Barboza that dropped SARIBEKIAN, and the doctor must not have liked what he had seen in that corner. He had a much closer look than we did, because he was up on the ring apron before the referee even got to the count of 1, I think.
An impressive win, and nonetheless, I mean, it doesn't matter how long Arthur's been out. Arthur had a very big amateur career.
We'll take a look at how this fight came to a conclusion, as we're going to see the right hand from Barboza land flush on SARIBEKIAN, who goes down in a delayed response. His legs did look a little bit stiff, and his head is underneath the bottom rope. So that doctor was sitting right there. He had the best look at SARIBEKIAN of anyone in the entire venue. And while I don't think he could look into Sarabekian's eyes at the way Sarabekian's head was faced towards the canvas, his legs did seem a little bit stiff as he went down.
They did, but I, in my opinion, give the veteran a chance at least. Let the count go, see what happens. I mean, he got up, he moved himself up on his knees pretty quickly.
We'll take a look at that TKO one more time from a slightly different angle. There's the right hand from BARBOZA. And Sarabekian makes his way to his knees, and the referee never got the opportunity to count. That doctor was up on the apron before the count even began.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked at that. I mean, I think even Johnny Callis was a little shocked to see the doctor run up there like that, because I would think you'd give him a chance, give the count. And if you do the count, the whole idea of the count is have him stand up, you look in his eyes and say, okay, no, he's no good to go. He wasn't knocked out to the point where a doctor needed to run into the ring. He didn't go face first on the canvas and wasn't twitching. He wasn't knocked out completely. He went right up, bent on his knees. He might not have been able to continue, but let's see.
Well, for the official time of the stoppage, we'll send it inside the ropes to our ring announcer, Rick Provost. Got a little bit of a delay in terms of the announcement of the official time of the stoppage. If you're Jesse Barboza, clearly you're going to move on with your career as you're trying to build your record up to get into some money fights. For Arthur Sarabekian, that's your first time fighting in 10 years. Maybe take another fight at some point when you have more time to prepare.
I think so. I mean, with his record and being a heavyweight, it doesn't make sense to just not fight anymore.
Let's be honest. If he had a win tonight over Barboza, he'd be making a lot of money as a heavyweight in his next fight.
Well, in fact, even with the loss, he might.
We'll send inside the ropes now for the official time of the stoppage to Rick Provost.
At 1 minute and 15 seconds, or round number 2, our referee, Johnny Callis, stops the bout. Your winner by technical knockout, Jesse Bad News Barboza.
Well, with the win, Jesse Barboza improves his record to 7 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. Now 5 of his 7 wins coming by way of knockout. Sarabekian drops to 23-5-1 in his first bout in over 10 years. You're watching live boxing from the Twin River Event Center in Lincoln, Rhode Island.